Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. If they get the recruitment right, get the right manager, in a couple of years at the most, they should be challenging for the biggest honours. Not my words, the words of Jamie Carragher when talking about Manchester United's appointment of Ten Hag, and he expects them to be back competing for top honours in 2 years, not 10 years, 2 years. I don't believe it. And I've got a lot to say on it. But before I do say that, I'm very excited to say that we've got Top 11 back to support That's Football, and I get to make a really exciting announcement as well. Top 11 has now done it. Top 11 2022 now has one of the most requested features ever. 3D live matches allowing you to get closer to your squad than ever before. This means the great game I play for hours has just got even better. They've added 3D, which means I can see my quite frankly world-class tactics come alive on the screen, making me feel more than ever like a real football manager that could take United back to the glory days, just like Ten Hag. The new 3D does not mean the game has changed though. Top 11 still allows me to have full control over the club, so I can decide not just how to train and develop my team, but also how I control what the kit looks like, how to update my stadium and training facilities. I even get to decide on which type of toilets we have. So it really is that detailed. There's also a 24/7 live transfer market in which you can bid for your players. This is where you can build your team and take it to the next level, and where I always lose out to last minute bids, so make sure you're paying attention. As always, Top 11 remains a free to download manager game and play mobile game for iOS, Android and other web browsers. Finally, as nothing should be enjoyed alone, Top 11 is a social game where you can take on your mates and other players from around the world. I love this interactivity of Top 11. You can play them in real time to find out who really has the skills to play the football management bills. So what are you waiting for? Hit the link in the channel description and start playing Top 11 today with over 240 million players worldwide. Big shout out to Top 11. Make sure you give it a go. It's one of those things when I'm on the train or on a walk, although you've got to be careful when you're crossing the road. It's a fantastic little game that you can play, and if you can find people to play with as well, it's even better. Anyway, let's get on with the show. I can't believe Jamie Carragher has said this. He said it didn't take long for Thomas Tuchel to turn things round when he came into Chelsea. This idea of 4 or 5 years to turn a club round like Manchester United, you don't need that. And as I said, a couple of years at the most, and they should be challenging for titles, major titles as well. I think this, look, as a United fan, That's Football. A big manager appointment, everyone's got a right to have an opinion on it. Don't need to be a United fan, and Jamie Carragher's got every right as well. I just can't believe he said that. I cannot believe he has said that United can be challenging for top honours in 2 years. I mean, some people will be saying he's talking facts. He's talking facts, Mark. I think he's talking crap. I really do. I think it completely underestimates the situation, and I almost put it back and say, is this Jamie Carragher, the Liverpool fan, trying to put pressure on Man United from day one because he doesn't want it to work? And that may well be an angle, but I remember when Liverpool got Jurgen Klopp, and I was like, I actually didn't think he would be able to turn it around. I thought it was impossible. So look, how is it that you can turn Man United around, the worst ever Premier League side we've ever had? Like, they are factually the worst Premier League side we've ever had, so the worst team in 30 years at least. They're going to get the lowest points total we've ever had, and they're absolutely crap. They've basically gift wrapped points to Liverpool and City this year. We didn't even score against Liverpool. So I don't know whether we scored against City. I think we did score against City. We scored at the Etihad. But we're an embarrassment. That we're right at the bottom of the barrel. And yet, you've got Carragher saying that United can be back competing with the best Man City side they've ever had, one of the best Liverpool, well, certainly the best Liverpool side in Premier League era they've ever had, with managers that are building teams that look like they're going to be around for the next 3 or 4 years, and they're going to be around for 3 or 4 years. But Man United, at their lowest ever point, are going to be competing with this Liverpool and Man City train that's just not getting any worse in 2 years. I mean, it's disrespectful to Liverpool and Man City, and it's massively optimistic about Manchester United. We've spent 1.2 billion, something like that, in 9 years. Money is not the problem to spend, it's how you spend it. We've got a team that has got so many divides in it, so many cliques in it, so many crap players on massive money that are not going to go anywhere. I mean, as a United fan, I look at it and I'll go, look, if you can buy me a brand new team, Jamie, and and 90% of those signings are good signings, then maybe in 2 years' time we could be competing. But I'm not going to get a brand new team this summer. In fact, it might take 2 years to get the team right. So how, how can you compete with Liverpool or Man City or maybe a Chelsea or maybe a Newcastle or an Arsenal, whoever, when it's going to take 2 years to build your team? And my example is Arteta. Arteta's been at Arsenal for longer than 2 years. They won an FA Cup 2 years ago, didn't they? He's still not built his team. And yet they are progressing. So I just think that you've got to be very, very careful in setting targets, because I think everybody's impatient and everybody wants it to happen really quickly. But using the Tuchel thing as well, that's ridiculous. Lampard is not a good coach. I actually have got to say that I actually thought Everton had done a good deal with Lampard. I'd listened to Lampard talk as a pundit. I think he comes across really intelligent. But as a coach, I don't think he's all that. And I think at Chelsea, he was given an array of fantastic talent and he messed it up. And I think Tuchel came in as a top coach and already had a very good squad that was capable of winning the Champions League and was one striker away, I think, from being a league title contender this year. So you can't say, well, it only took Tuchel next to no time to be competing for major trophies. The squad that Tuchel took on at Chelsea was very different to the squad that Ten Hag's going to take on. That Chelsea squad has got people like Kante in it, Kovacic, Mason Mount, Rudiger, loads and loads and loads of really talented players that are hungry for success. At Manchester United, we've got loads and loads and loads of rich players who are shit and not hungry for success. So you can't compare it to Chelsea. Plus, at Chelsea, they've got a very good structure. They might not have it at the moment. I'm sure they will have it again very soon. But they've got a very good structure around the manager. They'll back that manager. They'll remove players that aren't good enough. United don't have a good structure. We might have a good manager, but we don't have a good structure. So at Chelsea, if Tuchel comes in and goes, look, I think Lukaku's a problem, we need to remove him, that club will get rid of him. Even though they spent £100 million on him, they'll get rid of him. They've done it in the past, they'll do it again. They've done it with managers, they'll do it again. If Eric Ten Hag comes in and goes, right, you've got 3 players there that Solskjaer's bought or given contracts to that just aren't good enough, I need to get rid of them. Man United will go, yeah, the problem with that, Eric, they're on 200 grand a week, they've got 4 years left on their deal, and we spent tens of millions of pounds on them. If we kick them out the door, we're going to lose a lot of money. I don't care, we're here to play football. Yeah, we did say that in the interview, but actually we are really interested in the money side of things. We've got dividends to give to the guys in America, and money is very important to us. So as much as we take on board that you don't want those players to play, we're not going to be getting rid of them, because we're not writing off 50, 60, 70, 80 million on them. So just crack on with what you got, mate. So it's not, that's a big problem at United as well. It's not just about recruitment, which we've not been great at anyway. It's also about removal of players that are clearly not good enough. And I look at that United side that played against Liverpool on Tuesday and has been crap all season. We've got 10 of the top 30 Premier League earners at Manchester United. 10 of the top 30. We haven't got 10 of the top 30 players. So we've got a lot of players on a lot of money who are on long contracts and are negotiating new contracts unbelievably. And most of them wouldn't even get a matchday squad of Chelsea, Liverpool or Man City. So when you're talking about 2 years at Man United, you're not just talking about 3 or 4 signings and that team challenges for a title. No. We haven't got 3 or 4 players in the squad that are good enough to challenge for a title at the moment, because you need better players around them. And that is going to be the problem. Plus, you're throwing in a manager that's very exciting, who's never managed here before. You're throwing him into a situation where he's almost being sandwiched. You've got Chelsea, Liverpool and Man City who are better. You've got Newcastle who've got loads of money who are going to get better coming up from behind. You never know what could happen with a Leicester or an Everton or a Wolves or someone like that. Plus, you've got Arsenal and Spurs, maybe a Villa as well. So United are also not competing in a transfer market where they can go, we want that midfielder, we want that striker, we want that. There's European teams, and there's also Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Villa, Newcastle, Spurs, Arsenal, just off the top of my head, that are going to be competing for the same players. This ain't, if Eric Ten Hag has Man United competing for a title or a Champions League in 2 years' time, he'll have done an amazing job. And I think Carragher's way off. And I think he talks a lot of sense sometimes. I think he's absolutely way off. I don't know what you think, but I think he's absolutely way off. I think we could win a trophy in the next 2 years. I think we can be comfortably the top 4 contender every year in 2 years' time. And I think we can be closer to the title in 2 years. But to say that, a good transfer, it's about the players. It's about a good transfer window. It's not. It's more than that. It's way more than that. And I think throwing around 2 years, I don't think any Man United fans going to be talking about that. If they truly know the problems that we've got, and as I said, maybe Carragher's doing it because he's a Liverpool fan, maybe he's doing it because he's not fully aware of the problem, but United only a few weeks ago would be described as rotten from top to bottom. We appoint one manager and suddenly everything can be solved in 2 years. The board is still massively questionable. The owners are still massively questionable. The playing staff is still massively questionable. We don't know what the new coaching setup's going to be. We don't know what the new recruitment structure's going to be. But even if we get it right tomorrow, it's not going to be all sorted in 2 years. Some of these things will take a long time. So as a United fan, I can't have a go at Carragher or anybody else saying 2 years and then say, no. What do I think? I think everything needs to go right. I think you need to have the right manager with the right power. I think he needs 5 or 6 players this summer. I think there needs to be, what I said on the United stand, there needs to be a big statement. A big player needs kicking out of that club. Not Pogba, because we know he's going to go anyway, not Lingard. A player under a big contract who was bought for big money, who's clearly not good enough, needs to be sold this summer to make everybody in that squad crap themselves and realise they're not very powerful at all. And also to send a statement that we're not here to mess about. We will get rid of a player that's cost us a lot of money because we're not just about the money, we're about being a football club. If we get the signings right, if the current players that stay improve, I think next season we fight for 4th. If we're lucky, we might go deep in a domestic tournament. We don't know what European tournament we're going to be in, so I can't talk about that. If we're in the Europa League, I think we should be looking to win it. Season 2, you've got to have a summer like this again. You've got to add another 5 players. You've got to remove another 5 players, and then you're stronger into Season 2. Season 2, you want to be comfortably in the top 4. You want to be going deeper in the Champions League that you've qualified the season before, and you do want to be winning a domestic trophy. And that's 2 years. 2 years done. Season 3... again, another good transfer window, the removal of the final bit of the shit, and then in season 3, which is 3 years, you're then saying, right, we really want to be on the coattails of who's going for the title. We really want to be going really deep in the Champions League, and we definitely want to be winning one of the domestic trophies. So for me, that's the 3-year plan. Year 1, 4th place, win the Europa League if you're in it. Maybe if we're lucky, get to a final of a domestic trophy. Year 2, comfortably in the top 4, deep in the Champions League, hopefully winning a domestic trophy. Year 3, on the coattails of the title, deeper into the Champions League, and definitely winning a trophy that year. That's the 3-year plan for me. And I think even that is only dependent if you get everything right with the right support around the manager. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. Do check out Top 11. You can scan the QR code to download it with your phone. Just hold your camera up against the QR code and you can download it. It's free to play. It's a fantastic game and I think you'll have a lot of fun on it. And it's got this new 3D feature that you need to be checking out. You can play against your mates. You can play with yourself. Check it out with Top 11, and obviously we've got a big weekend on That's Football. We've got the boxing Fury fight on Tuesday night. We've got the Formula 1 on Sunday. We've got the Merseyside derby as well. Big weekend. And then we've got the Champions League obviously next week as well. So lots to get involved in on the channel. I'll speak to you all soon.